And this video will talk about my internship assessment 5, which I personally divided into two parts. The first part will be the analyze of my internship revised learning objectives, and the second part will be analyze the situation that I met during my internship. So for this internship, I worked in W Hong Kong as a marketing and public relation trainee. I was the first trainee since W Hong Kong opened, and it was my great honor to be the first trainee and be their model. For the first part, for the first point that I set for myself is to be familiarized with hotels' promotional channel. So in W Hong Kong, we use 5 different channels, which are Twitter, WeChat, Weibo, Facebook, and Instagram. So we generally promote each of hotels' promotion, each of hotels' discounted offer through these 5 different channels. So at the beginning of my internship, it was quite hard to know about these channels because compared to my previous internship, we only have 3 of these 5. So in order to get myself to be familiar with these different channels, I got myself learning and studying those different posts sent through these 5 different channels for the past year, because we all know that W brand is a luxury and fashion brand compared to other brands like Mandarin Oriental or Intercontinental. Is completely different because for its own promotion, it's always looking for what's new and what's next, and it always match with hotel's style and stuff. Because the style of the hotel actually represents the image so importantly that people will never forget. So what I did is, apart from knowing and studying those posts sent from the past year, I also learned that if I am the writer, how can I learn from these posts so that next time if I have the chance, I can write it in W style. This is how I learned. And also analyzing different posts from different channels, how can W Hong Kong be competitive in this market? And the second part that I set as learning objectives is recording the meeting minutes during the team meeting briefing. So during every single meeting, normally trainee is responsible for taking the meeting minutes. Meeting minutes is something that is like a Word document, and I have to take every single important point that each of the person says during the meeting, and then report to them that what they have to do today, such as what they have to do today, and what the things that they need to follow up. So in this part, it's quite tough in the beginning because compared to my previous internship, it was like so free and there's no boundary of doing this thing. But however, in W Hong Kong, the person who actually managed the trainee, she set a really fixed template and the different areas of different persons, so that sometimes if I heard something wrong, I wrote in different area. It was my fault and I have to change all the time. So in the beginning it was quite tough and it's quite hard to follow these different points. However, as time passed by, I made a mistake once again, and then after that I got myself more mature and more acquainted with doing this thing. The third one that I set for myself is to solve customers' complaint on TripAdvisor. Before I did this before in Intercontinental, however, during that time, they have given me fixed templates on replying different customer complaints. So however, in W Hong Kong, we all know that W Hong Kong is like a freestyle and hotel, so that during this part, all I did was learning from the previous replies on different customer complaints, and sometimes I got myself written some, but however, when I met some problems, I just asked the person who is responsible for writing this. This is the way that I studied. And for the last part, I wrote myself to promote one piece of promotion in WeChat. However, we all know that WeChat is not as famous compared to Facebook used in Hong Kong. So instead of writing one piece of promotion through WeChat, I learned how to write a press release article in W style. This is also a challenging job for me to do as a trainee, because W style, in order to get to know this brand, it requires a lot of time, requires a lot of skills, and requires a lot of questions I have to ask the people. So writing this press release, I always asked the person who managed me, and she was also the responsible in PR section. And in the beginning, I was not familiar with this. However, as I practiced, I finally got a chance that I can write 2 paragraphs of W Hong Kong's pro-party press release. So after all these learning objectives, what I would say for the 3rd year is that working in W Hong Kong made me know what teamwork is really like, and how important teamwork is, how important that people can gather together, creating different marketing strategies, different marketing campaigns, and finally, the joy and the mood that the event is closed down and is successfully. And also, this internship told me about we as an employee or student, we should always respect the work. Also be careful when something comes to details. So for the second part, we'll be analyzing the situation that I met during my internship. I chose myself the cross-cultural miscommunication. So I come from China mainland, and sometimes when I firstly communicated to Hong Kong people, there's always a barrier, because in the beginning I didn't speak that much Cantonese. However, after 3 months, which is half of my internship, I started to say and to speak Cantonese in a fluent level. However, there's still some miscultured communication between me and my colleague. So there was one time that my director gave me an important job to do, which was the competitor analysis of hotels, buffet restaurants, lounge and bar, and Chinese restaurant. Because my director wanted to know how W Hong Kong is competitive to all those 4 to 5 star hotels in Hong Kong area. This job was not given to a trainee to access the training how they can do better at their work. It's not like that. It's because my director really wanted to have that kind of analyze and have to know how W Hong Kong stands in this luxury hotel market. So he actually gave me 1 day time to do this job, and that was on Friday, I remembered. And during that day, I already pre-booked my ferry ticket to go home, but I just didn't expect that I have that much work to do on Friday. And then I was quite arrogant and quite disrespectful. I didn't finish my work at 6, and then I just sent an email to my boss saying that I just can't finish the job, and I just left without informing anyone in the team. During that time, I didn't think that it was quite a big problem. Maybe I studied more in school. I didn't know that in work is completely different. So that I sent an email saying that, hello boss, the work I finished almost 70%. There are 30% which I will finish on Monday. And after that, on Monday, my boss came to me saying that how disrespectful I was, and he didn't hope to see that situation to be happen again. And then I saw that this was really my mistake, and I tried to figure out how wrong that I was. So in the end, I solved my problem and I correct my attitude, because working attitude matters everything. So then I tried to write a apology email to my boss and apologize how can I do better in the next time, and how I can improve my efficiency on work next time in order to avoid this miscommunication and conflicts. So thank you for watching. This is my internship assessment 5 video. Thank you.